Yo, what's up, guys?
What's up?
I'm so sorry. The time that I had was 8 p.m. South African Standard Time, which now is in the next 30 minutes. Yeah, so apologies
Africa?
for that. But thanks for reaching
Pretty cool.
out.
Yeah, so no worries, man. So it's all good. I think I messed up and like marked it a half hour earlier or something on my count. No worries, we're all good.
Okay,
I'm sure.
Thanks for reaching out. Yeah, thanks for reaching out. Yeah,
It was definitely you, Des.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
all
yeah.
good.
Yeah, so thank you for taking the time, especially on the weekend, to come on the pod. Much love, much respect.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Thanks for having us.
So what's your guys' average weekend like?
Well, God, Brent, explain how it started yesterday.
Hibachi.
Hibachi.
Yeah. Yeah, we all went over Brent's house last night. We hung out, we grilled out and made some hibachi, and his wife made some rice, and it was really delicious. So,
Except for when
So I see.
he put
like,
pepper in the fan and
He's city, man.
So the culture changed, but I was expecting, the standard rock parties, groupies, alcohol, the works. But it doesn't happen anymore. It doesn't happen anymore. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, the 80s was a long time ago.
Clearly I'm outdated or uninformed with how the genre is in 2024. But this is good, man. This is good. I mean, when a few weeks ago, when your PR people, when Adrian reached out to me, and because of the time zone, so I'm laying in bed and then I get this email because it was a press release about you guys. Apparently, you performed on the 19th. Am I correct?
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it was the 19th. So the first thing I saw was a moment of violence, and that was the first, pull in for me. I'm like, okay, this is intriguing. What's this about?
Yeah.
So, I go on, and maybe you guys can explain to me the psychology behind this. Normally when it comes to so I used to be now and again I still do DJ, but with house music, your BPM starts from say 110 and then you move up, gradually the people start dancing from the hips onwards. But as soon as I started jamming to you guys' music, why is it when it comes to rock or metal, the head always starts moving first? What's up with that? Where did that all start? When it came with the genre, it always starts at the head, then your body is into it. Your heart is telling you, let's get on board with these guys.
I mean, it's ultimately it's just
so why is that?
That's the key goal, right? When you're writing a song, is you want people to kind of bounce like that, I guess it varies from genre to genre. I guess the body movement that you're gonna make, but I mean, at the end of the day, if you're able to achieve that and have the crowd of people, looking back at you, bouncing their head like that, you're doing your job well done. I would say, you know what I mean? So,
yeah. Well, you guys definitely pull me in. So yeah, okay, I guess we can start with who's who does what. We are I want to get to know you guys much more better, on an intimate level, or not only the storyline behind the music or the lyrics behind the music, but you guys as normal average guys, how did it all come about, and just a bit about your personal story, your personal background. You guys started off you're quite fresh, right? You guys start off in 2021.
Yeah, 2021. I'm the original. We had a previous drummer, Scotty. Him and I played together on a softball team, and it was a little while before we actually knew each other were musicians. But then when we did find out, we had aspirations about putting a band together, and it still took another 6 months from there before we actually really did something about it. He's a drummer. I'm a guitar player, songwriter, and in this band, I pretty much play the rhythm and the leads and stuff like that as well. So we put it together, and it was a lot of trial and error. We tried out a lot of different people, and then you gradually find somebody who's key, that sticks around for a long time. And then along came Brent, right? So, Brent, how long have you been with us now? So
3.5 years, probably.
Yeah.
I don't know.
he was right around the beginning too, as well. It's funny how we met Russ. We actually were looking to do an open mic when we were first getting started and everything like that, and he happened to be running one that was local here in Port St. Lucie, where we're from. And then ultimately, he was running it, or I get, what were you covering for somebody, Russ, or something like that?
Yeah, it was a friend of mine who actually passed away not long ago from a heart attack. Ace, rest in peace. He had the longest running open mic in this area, and a lot of people never heard of Port St. Lucie, but I mean, it's like the 7th most populated city in Florida, and got a lot of big cities in this state. So a lot of people would go there. It did really well, and he had some stuff going on in his personal life, and they couldn't run the open mic. It was going to stop unless someone could kind of go there who knew everybody and kind of tie everything together. And I volunteered, and they happened to come in at that time that I was there.
Yeah. So then we met Russ. We had somebody else singing at that time. Let me back up a little bit. So again, I played the guitars and a lead guitar. Brent's a rhythm guitar player. He plays some leads too and stuff like that. And Russ is one of our 2 vocalists. So, but we heard him sing that night. And we were kind of blown away with what he was able to do. And it wasn't a quick process of getting him to join the team either. It was like tried him out a little bit. He had a lot of other stuff going on musically as well, and then we were able to kind of like I guess what happened, one of his bands stopped playing, and then he had an opening in the schedule, and he was able to but along the way I kept in touch with him the whole time. We would send him songs that we completed and stuff like that, and he's like, wow, this is pretty cool, man. So again, it's trial and error. There was a lot of guys that we had come in, a lot of guys we tried out, and a lot of guys couldn't hack it, or some guys really just couldn't do what they said they could do, but I feel now that we got a really, really solid lineup, and the sky's the limit, my man. So
yeah. And Brent, what about you? Like your background before meeting the guys, like what were you up to?
Before meeting these guys, I got 4 kids, so I was just a family man. I used to be a welder. But
I'm assuming, all of you guys come from like extensive history. I mean, growing up like in music itself, in the genre itself,
sure,
like, driven by passion,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, I listened to a lot of like, it was either Megadeth or Metallica when I was young, and
yeah.
I kind of went against the tide, and I went with the Megadeth route because everybody else was going Metallica. But there's a lot of inspiration. I come from a family of musicians. My dad's a drummer and a bass guitar player. My sisters are twins. They're both vocalists. My brother plays various instruments too as well. So we were a very musical, family growing up and everything like that. And I knew from, when I was super young that music was going to be my thing for sure, because my father had taught me first how to play drums, and I never really got that great at it. But a couple of years later, I ended up seeing a friend of mine when I was in like early middle school, I believe. And he was playing guitar, and I was like, well, that's the one I want to do. So I've been a guitar player ever since, self-taught myself and everything. Like Brent, like when did you start playing, and what type of music?
Well, I started playing when I was 9, and I don't come from a family of musicians. My grandpa played guitar, but I didn't know it till I was older. But I don't know. I just picked one up when I was 9, started loving it. But I learned more like country, blues. I used to listen to a lot of, Stevie Ray Vaughan and whatnot. So this is a whole different trip for me. But damn.
Yeah.
But how was the journey for you so far? Are you enjoying it, Brent?
Oh, I love it. Can't complain. I always appreciated all kinds. So it wasn't
And Russ, so you the vocalist? Always been a vocalist?
I grew up family that loved music. My mom and my dad both did. My dad self-taught guitar player. Anytime we did family gatherings, living in Georgia, it was big family gatherings, all the kids playing in a big old yard, and all the adults gathered at a table near a bonfire and picking on guitars and singing songs. And I think it just put a love for music in me young, and then it just, I mean, I'd go to church with friends down the street and ended up singing with church groups, and just on down the line, it just develops. And I mean, I love all types of music, but I guess rock is what I do as far as like,
Yeah. You know, well, music, it's in the blood, it's in the DNA. You know, you either have it or you don't. You know, it is what it is. Like, there'll be trials and errors, as you said, there's, you know, but ultimately you will always turn back to it no matter what you have to go through. Like, we'll all have speed bumps around, you know, along the way. It's just part of the process. You know, it's part of the game.
Yeah, I've never met somebody that doesn't resonate with music. You know what I'm saying? Like, not necessarily be a musician and play music, but you know, I don't think I've ever met anybody that says I don't like music. You know, everybody enjoys it. So it's an amazing pastime, and it's something that, you know, when you can write stuff and you can kind of like you know, hit home with a certain, you know, genre of people and stuff like that. That's like the big reward off of it. You know what I mean? So I love it.
Yeah.
I just think music is just something that throughout human history, it's encoded into who we are, you know, as a species. I believe, you know, that all throughout human history, they've made music and danced. It's in the fabric of who we are.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I guess you'll have to be like a really dull person to not like music. Like a really dull person not to like music. No, but I guess from like an artistic point of view, like I tend to see, like, you know, over the years, like, okay, for myself, you know, starting off as a DJ, and when I should also like my own events, and then you'll get the DJs who like say, okay, cool, can you book me and so on? I like a gig, and then you give them the opportunity. And like a few years down the line, you check like the guys are just doing something completely different with their life. Like they were like just like in it for the wrong reasons. You know, if I can say that. Then you get the guys who are really driven by it, passion, it's in the DNA, you know, it's with them for life, and they make something of it. Yeah, you're gonna maybe take like a 5-10 year break because you're trying to figure stuff out, or, you know, you got a family to see to, there's financial responsibilities, you know, but you do come back to it, you know, ultimately. What I love about you guys, I want to go back a bit here, like I'm going to go to, and I actually mentioned this with a guest last week on the podcast because we were both like on the same vibe. Like, we miss MTV, you know, we miss the old school MTV. Like in this day and age with the music industry, like in any genre being so crowded as it is, you know, it's more than easier to be in the music game. You know, there's not so much red tape anymore, not so much gatekeepers, it's cheaper. You know, and how you guys have come together, you know, sourcing different talents. But it's so hard to like, okay, like let's just say like when I was still in school and then you jamming to MTV, like it was the only thing that was really on at the time. So podcasting wasn't a thing because those days it was the radio DJ who was actually at the top. I mean, for them to source who was in the top 10, top 20, like in any genre, MTV was your source. Like you could spend a few good hours on MTV, you would know who was who. Now it's like harder. Like I never know who A Moment of Violence was until actually, like, you know, I got an email from you guys to say, you know, would you mind like chatting to the guys? Not that I don't listen to rock music or metal music. I'm also a lover of all genres. And where I'm getting at you, like what I was saying about actually having like so much respect for you guys is like what you guys do with your music videos. Like the amount of effort that you guys actually put into your music videos. Like if we were still in that MTV era, there's no doubt that your guys would be like in the top 10, and I would have sourced like you a long time ago. Like I would have known who you are. So when it comes to music videos, and I'm aware also that you guys, or the music video was nominated at the Music Video Awards, and the director of the video itself actually won the award. What drives you guys in this era to still focus so much and invest so much time, resources, and money like into music videos, like in this era where, like I would say, you know, majority of the industry, like overall, doesn't really focus on that. Yeah, they use like they focus more on user generated content. Like let's hope that people or consumers actually use our music on TikTok, or they'll use our music on YouTube. But you guys really go into it. And I mean, when I checked out My Endless Nightmare, that was the first link that was sent to me. I was like, this is really good. This is phenomenal. I mean, it's been a long time since I've seen like
Thank
a group
you.
of artists put this much effort into the video. Like, it was great. Like, I'm really,
Yeah.
it was like we were back in the MTV era, you know, top 10, definitely, even top like 5, 1.
Yeah.
It was brilliant. So what keeps
Yeah.
you guys there?
So, well, you know, so let me back up a little bit. So we were able to, you know, kind of in the same respect of what you said, like there's, you know, less gatekeepers and you have more accessibility to people now and stuff like that because of the technology boom overall. We were able to get in touch with our label, who's now our label rep, which is Pepper Gomez. And she is the runner of Wake Up Music Group, which Wake Up Music Group originally started along the lines of your dance and EDM type of stuff. And I was just reading today, I think it was 2020 or 2021, actually 2020. She ended up going also adopting like a rock side of her label too as well. So, you know, about a year ago or a year and a half ago, you know, I was in talks with her trying to see, you know, what interest she had in a moment of violence and end up getting with her. So part of the contract, so to get back what you were saying before, was that we're able to do one music video shoot. You know, we get a certain budget, whatever. And so she gave us the recommendation for the Hollywood film producer to come out here to Florida. So he flew out here to work with us. And we went down to Fort Lauderdale, and he kind of vetted the studios and stuff locally and found a place that had, I guess, the scenes set up for his vision that he had for the video overall. And we just went down there and banged it out. I mean, you know, what was your experience, would you say, with it, Russ?
Yeah, he found like a staging studio where they had green screens, everything, you know, different rooms to where you can go in, and pretty standard place like that, you know, but it was a nice one, and working it with Dominic was a pleasure. I mean, we've maintained talking with him, all of us, have.
Yeah,
but
talked to him.
The video shoot was fun. It was grueling.
Yeah, it was a long day, man, for sure. It was really, I mean, it ended up being like what, 16 hours plus or something like that the whole day. So
one of the things I always laugh about is like, how you pronounce your name? Kino?
Kino, yeah.
Yeah, Kid, you probably saw in the video, like I'm playing one half of the split personality, kind of very Fight Club-ish our other singer, Alex, is the diabolical side of the, you know, multiple personality doing the bad stuff. And Brent and Des here were the detectives,
the arresting officers. Yeah.
And when they put me down on that table the first time, they kind of did it gently. And I was like, guys, we gotta sell this thing. And so, you know, they were really full force. I don't know if the video shows that to you, but if you ever watch it again, I mean, it was a painful day by the end of it.
Yeah, we slammed them down probably like what, a good 50 times.
Yeah, we redid those scenes from different angles over and over. And then there's the scene in the padded room where, you know, with the straitjacket, it was a real straitjacket. So I was completely bound and getting thrown to the floor. And that floor, it wasn't a real padded room. That pad was probably an inch and a half thick, and it wasn't pad. So
and
it was like being
underneath
thrown down on. It was, so imagine having your arms together and being thrown face first on the concrete with two people that weigh 200 pounds or more on you. It was fun, but I guess getting to it, the video shoot was great. And it makes me really happy to hear you say that you think it stands at the level of all those MTV generation, VH1 generation videos, because a lot of time and effort was put into it by a big group of people.
Yeah.
I mean, even Miggs, our bass player, before he was in the band, was there doing a behind the scenes video for us. And now he's in the group. And, you know, just great experience. And we're proud of what we did. And we look forward to creating more as time progresses.
Yeah, for sure. And I'll also say on that note too, is like you had mentioned, because it's so easy and it is such a heavy duty saturation in the market right now. Like there's literally almost zero barriers of entry for people to become, music producers and, put their own music out there. So, which is cool. I mean, it's great. It's in my opinion, it's never the tools you have available to you. It's always the guy who's working the tools that does the job. Right. So, with that said, in this band now, we have me as the music producer, right, and the songwriter, music producer, and then we also were able to get Miggs, like Russ just said, as our bassist now, which he's a very talented player as well, but he's also a really talented videographer too. So like I don't know if you saw the latest video that we just did, Bullet, for our latest release, but that video is already was 75,000 views in like 3 weeks or something like that, which is great.
Nice.
But he filmed that at my house with all of us as the actors and all, a couple of extra people. But, we spent the whole day doing that too. And, but monetarily, it's not such a huge investment other than really time, because I'm able to produce the songs and make them sound super professional. And he's able to produce the videos and make them look super professional. So, I mean, we got a lot of it in-house too as well, which is really nice. You know what I mean? So
that like sort of cut costs for you,
Especially
leveraging all the technology that is out there.
Yeah, 100%. Big time across the board. So, those two things are like the biggest expenses for bands nowadays. You know what I mean? So, or anytime, it's those two things that consume most of your resources. So, since we have them handled inside of the band, that makes it all that much better. You know what I'm saying? So,
Miggs did S.H.O.T.S Fired video too.
Yeah, he did the S.H.O.T.S Fired video too as well, and Russ has got connections and stuff. So, like, a lot of times, like, location is probably the most expensive thing when you're doing a music video shoot, or unless you're trying to get like some mainstream actors or something like that. But realistically, if we get our friends to help us out and stuff like that are, decent at acting or whatnot, and then Russ goes to talk to somebody he knows at a bar that is willing to let us go in there and do it. So like for S.H.O.T.S Fired, we went to a local pub over here. Russ was able to, talk to the owner and get us the availability to do it. So we went there, like 9 a.m. on a Saturday morning. And believe it or not, I think that's the most people that Pip Shea's Pub has ever had in it at 9 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah. Needless to say, they were really happy. I want to quickly add something to what Kino was just saying, because he kind of mentioned something about us going a different route with the videos. And I think it's something that we realize we enjoy doing because of the resources we have. Fortunately, is that doing these music videos is for instance, I mean, a lot of artists are dependent upon getting their stuff on, and they're trying to get their streams up on a lot of platforms like Spotify or whatever. And, but I mean, like Des just said, and I went ahead and did a check. I mean, we've had that video out a couple weeks and it's pushing 80,000. And we're just noticing that how quickly you can get people looking at you and not just listening to the sound, but getting a visual representation of what you're capable of. So I think it's a good route to take than just being caught up in the noise of, there's a lot of talent out there. And when I say noise, it's not being, disparaging of any bands out there, because I mean, we've been competing in contests with bands lately. And I mean, we've won a couple times on a thing on the sound, and I'm amazed that we're able to come out ahead of these other bands in the votes, but we're doing something to try to make ourselves a little different.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah, and as far as like when we do a song, like when I write a song and I produce a song, I almost have I have the need to want to make it sound some way cinematic, like a Michael Bay. Like a Michael Bay movie or something like that. You know what I mean? So, and that's like our mission when we're doing that. So obviously, well, why stop there? Right. So what Miggs's thing is like, well, what every video you do doesn't have to necessarily be straight, just a performance video of the band playing. Right. So let's all put our acting hats on too, and create a cool scene and a cool idea and make it like a short film too as well. So I mean,
story.
Yeah, so I think that's really cool too as well. And fortunately for us, we not only have good musicians in the band, but we've also got guys that can act too as well. So that's pretty cool. You know what I mean? So it's good. It definitely works.
These videos come off a little like, if that's all you do. Sometimes I don't want to say lazy, because I'll go back to the word disparaging, but I feel like if you can create a story, then why not do one?
Yeah.
Make it artistic. Yeah. Give the people something to like look at. And what was one of the things we enjoyed the most about music growing up? Trying to figure out what's it about, So I guess that's what I'm getting at.
Was it relevant to your life? So I guess in this day and age, if your music is really going to grow and you're really going to obtain the audience that you're looking for, there has to be a storyline behind it. There has to be a deeper meaning behind it.
Yeah.
So the fact that you guys are doing that and creating a storyline, your audience is just going to grow further and further. Nobody wants to listen to somebody who's just like made some, random shit up and posting about it and making a video that they really don't even feel themselves, because then you're doing some real acting on that video. So when you said 16 hours, so to make the video was like 16 hours straight. So it was done like, say, one day.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it was all done in one day, but it was like it was a long day. Like, we got there super early in the morning, having coffee in the parking lot. The producer shows up, we get access to the studio, and then it's just go time the whole time. And then we had a couple scenes at the end of it that were done at I guess a friend of Pepper's house, her house, so we had a bedroom scene and all this other stuff. So I mean, that didn't get shot until what, like 10, 11 o'clock at night or something like that. You know what I mean? So it was super late, but it was cool. It was a lot of work, but it was a really cool experience, man. Like something I wouldn't give back if you gave me the world for it. You know what I'm saying? So it's amazing.
Awesome.
You enjoyed it.
Like we had an idea, but it all like the scenes were all shot in different orders. So really, I was like, I don't know what we're doing, man. And then seeing it all come together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Dominic, the one who won the award, he's a pro, man. He's for sure a pro.
And
no, he deserves it. You guys deserve it.
Yeah.
So like after the shoot is actually done, so how long after does it actually take for it to be like? So what's the approval process? Does the producer with his team actually like sort it out and they get it where they want it? They send it to you guys. You approve it.
Yeah, well, he's much, like we're in a text chat group with me, Russ, Dom, and Dominic's the producer, and then you have Pepper Gomez, our label rep, and kind of just shooting little clips back and forth to try and get an idea of what, hey, do you guys like this effect? Hey, do you like this? Do you like that? So that's really the approval process. I mean, I happen to think that Dom's work is awesome. I thought he was great at what he does. So, I wasn't really doubting what he would send back at all. I was like, yeah, dude, it looks great. You know what I mean? So what about you guys when you saw it?
Go ahead, Brent.
What is your first thought?
2 or 3 different little renditions of it, but it was all just different effects on the screen. Right. And any one of them I was okay with. Like, wow, this is super professional and awesome. I'm about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a pro, man. He's definitely a pro. He knows what he's doing, So it's like going to a tattoo artist to get a tattoo, and you look at it and you go, "Wow, man, that looks super cool. I could never have done that myself." You know what I mean? So it's a pretty surreal experience, and I enjoyed it personally a lot. So
yeah, he had me hooked. If you remember, Brent, when he sent us, he sent us an original script, and Kino, I mean, you're familiar with the movie Fight Club, correct?
Yeah.
Well, when he sent it to us, and it was basically like a little short story. It's almost like when back in school, whenever you make, you put out something, and it just the first thing looking at it, I'm like, oh wow, a split personality doing this, and the first thing I thought was, oh wow, this is Fight Club, and that's one of my favorite movies ever. And I just wrote back, I'm in. I can't wait to see what you come up with. And, he did it. He hit it out of the park. Just how fast he was able to take 16 hours of random footage and splice it together into something that he recorded, like Brent said, all out of order. And it all came together and just made so much sense, like a movie. It was a pleasure to be a part of.
Yeah. And then we had the go ahead, what were you gonna say, Brent?
I just said Annie had it done in like a week.
Yeah, I know. And you know what else is cool? If you haven't seen it yet, you should check out the behind the scenes video. It's like 25 minutes long. It's really interesting to see the process come together, and there's some little bloopers in there and shit, and it's pretty cool, man. Definitely.
The pepper blooper.
Well, when
the behind the scenes video, they can find it on your YouTube channel.
Yeah. Behind the scenes of the shooting of My Endless Nightmare. It's a cool watch, definitely. Because it kind of gets you in. It brings you there as we're making it. You know what I'm saying? It's really cool. Definitely.
Yeah. This will be like really insightful for like not just like bands, but any artists out there who wants to make a music video. And as you said, this took more time than anything else, and anything in life is going to cost you time, money, or both. But this took us time, so you can make something as dope as yours and with the standard of quality if you just have the correct people and you're willing to put in the time.
Yeah,
and enjoy it, and not get like stressed out.
From the drive itself, too. I mean, that studio was in Fort Lauderdale, and I don't know if you're familiar with the geographics of Florida, but that's a good 2 hours for me, at least, right? So, I mean, Russ even lives further north than I do. So, and the whole thing, but it was all worth it. You know what I'm saying? So it was, when we say it was a lot of work and a lot of painful work for like Russ in particular, when we slammed him on the table 50 times, but it was worth it, man, because when you see it come together, it's like, wow. I kind of pictured it to be exactly how it came out after I read the script. You know what I'm saying? So I think he really took his vision, but made it our vision and brought it to life, and quickly, like Brent said, in a week.
I hope we get to do another video with him. I mean, he said he would jump at the opportunity to do it, and he enjoyed it. I don't think I'm putting words in his mouth. It's pretty verbatim. Because before we even saw the finished product, I said, Dominic, this was awesome. And like, again, how he could stay as such a beacon of positive energy all day long. I was like, whatever kind of coffee you drink, can you tell me where you get it? He's just endless positive energy. And I've worked with directors, even in like live staging things, like in musicals and things of that nature. And I dealt with some very grumpy directors, and he was a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, for sure.
Well done, man. Well done, guys, on the video. I mean, you guys like bring back, that old school MTV vibes, and there's a lot of people out there just like myself who appreciate it, like really appreciate it. It's good to go check out a music video by an artist or a band where you can say, okay, cool, you know what, these guys, they mean business. Mean business. So it's good to keep that part of it. So as far as the compositions are concerned, like how does the creative process work? Where does it start? Where does the concepts come from? Like what pops in your mind before you pass it on to the guys? Like it starts at you or doesn't start at you. You can just...
No, it definitely starts with me. Generally speaking, it's I'm a guitar player again. So, right. So I'll come up with like a cool riff. It could be a verse, could be a chorus, could be whatever, you know what I mean? But I'll come up with a cool riff, and then I'll, and again, to kind of put it towards the technology based thing, right? So nowadays you don't really need a live drummer. You can use MIDI, right? So you just lay down some basic drums of what you're looking to do, record a couple guitar parts, and then build it from there, and then go, all right, well, where should this lead me to? Okay, this could lead me to a cool chorus. All right, let me figure out some cool chords to put. So I'll build the whole composition from like one small little riff and then make it, a whole thing. And then I'll take a listen to it and rearrange some parts and kind of move things around just to get it to where it's like a basic template. I'll shoot it to the guys, and the guys will, kind of give me their thoughts on it and stuff like that. But generally speaking, it's going to be built up to a full completed musical concept first. And then at that point, typically Russ and Alex will come into the studio with me, and we'll kind of like brainstorm some lyrics and stuff like that. Some of the times I have some lyrics already for it, and we'll kind of just tweak it from there and kind of go with, whatever melodies the three of us really like to throw at it. And kind of on that note too, is like all three of us, this entire band is definitely completely different musical backgrounds, not totally different, but we all have different styles and stuff like that. And when you kind of throw all those ideas into the mix, you have like, you know, you have like 5 or 6 really cool ideas for the same exact part, which gives you the option to kind of pick and choose between what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Because I know that there's times, like Russ can attest to this, like I'll write something or I'll have a certain melody for a part already, and he's like, well, no, let's try it this way. And then I listen to his way and I'm like, shit, that's pretty damn good. You know what I'm saying? So let's run with that. So that's really how it comes together, man. You know, it'll start as you know, the music from me first, and then ultimately those guys will come in with the words and stuff like that, and then we'll after I track them doing it, then I'll sit there and edit the crap out of the whole composition and really you know, produce it, add sound effects, add my synths or whatever I want to it. And I'll send it back to the guys, and guys are typically like, dude, sounds amazing. And, you know, once we're all happy with it, we shoot it off to the label, and the label gives us the thumbs up. They send it to the world renowned mastering engineer, which is Ted Jensen. He's like the best in the world.
He's the GOAT.
Yeah, he's the GOAT. He's the greatest of all time as far as mastering goes. And he sends it back to us, and it typically sounds like a gem once we get his product back, you know? So that's really how it goes, 100%.
So really you find, okay, I mean, about like 72% that are in the independent space. So would you guys being under a label, you guys experience any red tape when it comes to your compositions?
Slightly.
Slightly.
Yeah, because we bounce things back and forth, and, you know, sometimes we'll send something, you know, to our representatives, and they'll, you know, she'll like Pepper will listen to it, and she'll give Des feedback. And it's sometimes I try to tell Des, you know, we'll send it to her, and then we'll listen to it. Then we say, okay, are we going to completely change it, or are we going to try to polish it? So sometimes it makes us kind of veer in another direction, but other times we try to stick with our convictions and just do a better job with it. And then, for instance, Endless Nightmare, I don't think was one of Pepper's favorites in the beginning, early stages of it. But then you got to hear what we did with it as the song grew and developed and matured. Then she really liked it at the end.
Yeah, and that one, believe it or not, is it was probably one of the more difficult ones to complete, because it was just like, I don't know, I think I was trying to go in so many different directions towards the end, because if you listen to that song, it's not like your typical song structure where it's like verse, chorus, you know, middle part. Yeah. You know, so it kind of builds, and then we settled. Well, not settled, but we were like amazed that we came up with the key change at the end, where we go up a full step in the pitch and everything like that. And that was like, that's what did it, you know. And then we added that middle piano part with him singing solo by himself, and it was just like, wow, this is really awesome now, you know. So sometimes it's a process, man. It takes a lot of different renditions to get it through, and that, you know, that one was one of those songs that tried to kick my ass while I was in the studio, and I ended up prevailing over it. You know what I mean? So
he said, you know, red tape, to answer that a little more concisely, we're given the freedom to kind of do what we want to do, and we're grateful for that. So there's not really like a, hey, don't do this, you know, and if you're trying to do this, we're going to put that red tape in front of you. No, we're grateful to have the freedom to express ourselves artistically. I guess I was just trying to say that sometimes there's a little bounce back and forth of, you know, giving experienced opinion, you know, from Pepper. And I think it's been good because it's pushed us to do the best we can with every track.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I don't know, like if you've watched the S.H.O.T.S Fired video either, but for instance, it was planning on being the first one that we released on this EP. And, you know, we had another rendition of it, which was very similar, but we, you know, after listening to it and listening to the feedback that we got from some of the people, it's like, we can make this better. And that's what we did. We just, it ended up being the third release or the third release. Yeah. Ended up being the third release off of the EP instead, because we just went back into the studio and
we scrapped all the vocals.
Yeah, we scrapped all the vocals and just redid them all over again, and then it just came out polished and super smooth sounding and great.
Did you do? We redid the bass. Did you do some of the guitar again too?
I did the guitars and the bass all over again too, because it's like
the whole thing.
Every time you do a song, or every time I do a song, in my experience, what happens is I find a new trick that I never knew before. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like you're constantly learning something when you're in the studio creating stuff, and you've never learned it all. You're always going to be learning, and you just get better and better and better. Like practice makes perfect, right? So at the end of the day, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I'm super happy with the way our latest Bullet sounds, but I think that the one I'm working on right now is probably going to kick his ass. You know what I mean? So it's just the way it goes. So.
You can only get better, Each one is just like it's better. It's better. Yeah,
every day.
That sounds okay. Thanks for filling me in. How it works with the label. It's just that I don't think there's ever been a conversation that I've really had with someone who's still like under a label. It's mainly like with the guys who are in the still, or they came into the industry, they're in the independent space. They're not even interested like about actually getting signed by a label. So it's quite refreshing actually to sit down and just get a basic understanding of how it actually works between the artist and the label in 2024. In my mind, I was actually laughing when Russ said slightly, because when I look at Russ, you look like the dude who will sit at the boardroom table and be like, tell me something I don't want to hear, and I'm going to tell you what I'm feeling right now. You look like you that guy, So yeah, that's cool. So like, but you guys as a band, so we've touched like on the label. Do you guys ever like disagree when it comes to the music? Do you have disagreements?
Not really. I mean, I think I'm kind of blessed.
Last night we talked over having dinner. I'll be quick so Des can finish his thought. But we have different tastes. Like and I'm sitting in there and I'm like, hey man, I like to have a little bounce in some things I do, and I'm trying to get a little bit of a hip hop edge into a song, and it's not Des's cup of tea. But over talking, he goes, we respect each other is the most important thing, and we respect all of each other's tastes, and we don't try to force something into a song. And the agreement we just came upon last night, he goes, hey man, if it organically works, Russ, put whatever the heck you want lyrically into a song. And so that answers my I guess viewpoint of what you just said. Nah, man, we don't argue about it. We just have constructive conversation.
Yeah. And like you said, the level of respect there is, we all respect each other as far as input. Like, I bet you if Brent wanted to work a country Western part in there, I'd be open to the idea as long as it's catchy. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I'm not completely opposed to anything. I'm very open-minded.
God's country.
What's that?
I said God's country. Remember that?
Yeah. So, and the 303 song too.
Oh, it's gonna be fun.
So, listen, there's not a. You got to be open-minded. I got 6 guys in this band, including myself. So everyone's got a different personality. Everyone's got slightly different, resources and what they listen to as far as music goes and stuff like that. So, generally speaking, when you combine everybody's input, something magical comes out of it, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it's pretty awesome.
It's like Frankenstein, man, taking all these parts and making a living thing out of it.
Yeah, no, that's so easy, these days for bands to actually stick together. You just see like so many arguments is happening all the time. Then they break up. It's like politics in the industry.
Yeah,
so, it's refreshing to
a lot of times players and alcohol,
like guitar players yelling at drummers on stage and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
I've never seen that happen.
As you said, everyone has like a different personality, and everybody has like a different want. Like when you guys entered this, it was always with you, but like as you started to move up the ladder, like everybody has like a different want or something specific that they actually want out of this whole journey. Some people it's money, some people it's fame, some people it's just they want to live their purpose. Do you guys ever have like those situations, around those areas about like where should we perform, why should we perform there? Like what are we doing? How are we monetizing our career? Do you ever have those disputes about where the money is going? Like those sort of things, It's like just general like
we don't really have
and
money issues overall. I mean, it's not like we have all the money, but we never really have a dispute over any money. Every one of us understands that we're trying to build this thing as big as we possibly can, and it's going to take time before any of the fame and fortune comes along with it. You know what I mean? So like right now, I mean, everything that we make pretty much on a gig will just go right back into the band fund. We personally don't take anything. We just use it for either promotion or new gear that we need or stuff like that. So it's a building process, right, guys? I mean, we're not I don't think we've ever really had any disagreements about doing what we do as far as the monetary portion of it. You know what I mean? So but those are viable things that people, that bands have issues with and stuff like that, but I don't think that we've ever had a disagreement on that or anything like that. And if we did have a better payday at a show or something like that, and we gave, half of the money to the guys and we split up half of it and put the other half in the band bank account, that's, that would be probably the most that we would ever do at this point right now anyway. So.
Yeah, this should be an eye-opener to any listener who's still part of a band. That you can't stay together. You just need to eliminate all the politics and drama from your.
Yeah, I heard one person tell me something one time that still kind of stands true. Is like a band is not a democracy. It's really just kind of like you got to have a de facto leader for sure. You know what I mean? Somebody's got to be the guy to run it. It's a hard position. I'll tell you, man, as a band leader for 6 guys with 6 different personalities, generally speaking, we're all, grown men with families and kids and wives and, cars and mortgage payments and stuff like that. So it's hard to manage it, dude. I'm not going to lie, but we do it. I do it because of the love of the music, man. And I just love what we're doing. Yeah. That we can put it out there and, really make an impact on the world with what we're doing. So,
and this is something that all 6 members do full time.
Yeah, I mean, we all have regular day jobs still too, as well. Just so you know. But
wow.
Yeah. So I mean, because listen,
you guys are still doing such a phenomenal job. I mean, look at that.
Yeah,
it's a labor of love.
It's a full-time job on top of your full-time job. That's what it is. So,
and as you said, family, children, wife, all of that, and still manage to do what you guys do, still making time to be here today, to keep promoting your brand, your work, your music.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you, Kino, don't mind like kids running around in the background, the dogs barking and shit. I mean, we're cool with that.
I'm chill, man. I'm chill. I mean, you could do the podcast from anywhere. I'm a chill guy.
That's it, man. So.
Like this is what I love to like show people, that like raw organic material. Raw organic material. These are like ordinary guys who go through the same process in life, just like you there, but you like are complaining all the time because you don't have the time to put in the work to grow your artistic career or to put your band together or get your band right or go after those opportunities. But I mean, it is, on a weekend, as you said, we passed the 80s a long time ago. I mean, if this was the 80s, you guys should have like been out partying right now, but here you are. Here you are. Like this is what it takes in 2024.
Yeah, there wouldn't be kids running around back there. It'd be strippers.
even a lot of those old 80s musicians are all responsible now with all their money diversified into bonds and investments. And every time I think about Des, I think about Nico. He owns a restaurant and has tons of investments down in South Florida. And think about what those guys are doing.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So you guys stay in the
time, man.
Yeah. You guys stay in this you're really close to each other. Like is all 6 members close to each other, like same state, same area?
We're all in the same state. We're all within, I don't know, an hour each direction from my place, which is where there's a centralized like rehearsal location and stuff like that. So, yeah, about an hour north or an hour south. These two on the bottom here, Russ and Brent, now live very close to one another. I'm
Brent
about
just moved to my neighborhood.
yeah, Brent just moved up to his neighborhood, and I live about 40 minutes south of them and 35 minutes south of them. And then the other two guys live about an hour south of me. So, you know, I'm like right in the middle of everybody. So it's just easiest to come over here, and I got the space where we can, you know, rehearse and stuff like that. But yeah, everyone's pretty close. I mean, it's not super far. I mean, here in Florida, an hour drive, I mean, you could do an hour drive to go to the restaurant to go get something to eat. You know what I'm saying? So that's not that bad.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, traffic.
That's true. That's true.
Traffic is crazy down here.
Yeah.
So with gigs, we just like touch on gigs. So how do gigs? Does gigs still play like a critical role, like being in a rock/heavy metal band?
Definitely.
It's still like as huge as as it used to be. Or maybe the still is. I'm just like learning as I move along. Yeah.
Well, in the music world, I think in any genre, not just the rock and metal, I would say that playing live and selling merch is your two biggest income streams. So,
absolutely.
So playing gigs, it's vital to being able to stay afloat and do what you got to do. You know,
people like it.
Russ,
you guys play.
Go ahead, Russ. Comment on that one.
Yeah, it's like Des just said, it's vital. I mean, to give you something that I just saw because it's fresh on my mind, we just watched the Netflix documentary about Lou Pearlman, the guy who started Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. I don't know if you've had the chance to see that, Kino, but it's a very good watch. Shows you the dirty side of music industry. But they mentioned that the Backstreet Boys made, or it might have been NSYNC, one of the two bands made $200 million off of album sales and $800 million off of touring and merch. So that gives you an idea of how important, even though it's not the same level, it shows you that touring and merch is where it happens. I happen to know a lot of guys in some bands of note. I won't even get into those to name drop because I don't want to be a look at me Louie, but they all tour because touring is how you generate income. If you're going to be a full-time rock band musician, you have to tour. Otherwise, you
can't live off of Spotify streaming royalties.
No, true.
So you got to tour, and we're just us personally. I'm sure the guys will agree. We would like to play more shows, but at this point, we're focusing a lot on creating good material, good songs, writing good songs. And we do play, but we try to be a little selective of the shows we play. Like, we try to get on with other bands of note. Like we just recently opened for the drummer from Iron Maiden who lives in South Florida. And it was a packed house and it was awesome. And he's a great guy, Nico McBrain. And we're going to open for Trapped coming up here in about 2 weeks and change, right?
Yeah.
And up in, about an hour north of where I live. Thank you to James Cripps of Blind Anxiety Entertainment for that. Always love to give shout outs and respect anytime we do any of these interviews so people know that we're grateful for what they've done for us. But yeah, we just try to be selective and play stuff that we know can generate income rather than going out and playing a little small show where we walk away with hardly anything.
Yeah, sure. It's just more quality versus quantity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess that'd be the simplified way to put it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And like in the States, like how far does your fan base go? Is it like all states, few states? Is there certain areas that you can't get to perform for people, where it's like just growing?
I mean, if you look at the Spotify metrics and stuff like that,
you're reading my mind.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at that, like, believe it or not, we have like next to no fans in Florida, fans all over the rest of the United States. And our biggest area, I feel would be like South America or something.
South America and Germany, we have a lot of people listening to our music.
Yeah.
AMoV live in Germany. Let's go.
Yeah.
But it's funny that you mentioned that, because it seems to be the case with like a lot of artists. Where you from is not where your fan base is.
Yeah.
Like I got that personally, like in my life as well, like with my own music. So I'm in hip hop, but I'm getting listeners in countries that I don't even know about, but not South Africa, not where I'm from, not even my own area. There's people in this area that don't even know I do what I do. You know, that's how it is. But there's an advantage to it, I guess, when you're staying in the area. It sort of gives you that privacy, as you know, where you're not always crowded about the industry, and there's people coming up asking you, okay, how can I do this, and where can I go for do this? What's the process with the, you know? I guess that's an advantage for me personally in my life. You know, you sort of have that privacy for yourself.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, locally we've got a pretty solid following around here. Like I would say, you know, a lot of it's you know, Russ plays in a couple other bands that do more like cover and tribute type of stuff, and he's gained quite the following locally, and people know his name from doing all that other stuff too. So you know, and then you know, I have friends locally and everybody. So like when we post something, or if we're gonna play locally, we can draw a pretty good sized crowd locally. But then you go to like the top of Florida, right? Like in the Panhandle or something like that. Nobody's up there's ever even heard of AMoV. So I'd say it's kind of like a spotty hit or miss type of situation. You know what I mean? It's just, but yeah, surprisingly, most of it's South America, Germany, like Russ said. So that's kind of weird, but whatever. It is what it is. You know what I mean? That's great.
You never know where your audience is going to be, you know. That's what data is like. I mean, it's so important these days for artists in this day and age, because if you know where your audience is, you know where to focus your attention. There's so many artists out there that are focusing their attention in the wrong places. And then they pull in the air off every day, asking, okay, why is there no growth in my career? So, I mean, the data is critically important. Now you know where to focus your attention.
Yeah, for
you know,
sure.
when the opportunity comes for you guys to actually do like an international tour, you know, okay, guys, we need to start in Europe first. You know, not go to South Africa where Kino is, because there's no audience there. But, you know, I'm going to Germany. You know, these guys will do that. You know, these guys will do it because they don't know the data.
Listen, if it's like, I put it this way, like if I owned a food truck and I set it up on the side of the highway versus setting it up in the Home Depot parking lot where all the contractors go, you know, to buy egg sandwiches and stuff like that. Well, I mean, you're probably going to do a lot more successfully in a situation like that versus on the side of the road somewhere. You know what I mean? So you're grateful for the fact that, you know, Spotify does give you those extras and stuff like that, because now you know where to target your marketing efforts to, which is great. You know what I mean? So that's good.
Yeah. While we're on the topic of like platform, there's this new platform I came across today. It's called Muso, MUSO.ai. So I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Scott Storch, the hip hop music producer in the States.
I don't know.
Okay, so anyway, he was the one who posted about this first. And what this platform does is it pulls all your credits, and like there's so many artists now that are actually using this. So you guys should like check it out. Like I'm still trying to get familiar with it, but it gives you like, you know, your credits, like it like sort of like where your catalog is not like in sync or making sense, where the songwriting names are not reflecting where it's supposed to.
I got you. Yeah,
so
yeah.
It goes, okay, all of that, you know. MUSO.ai. So I was actually sharing
a note of that, Des, and send it to you so we can look into it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So it's also like an awesome platform just to get some, you know, data off using all of these. Yeah. So what's the plan for the next, let's just say, 3 to 5 years for AMoV? Where do you guys see? What's the vision for the next 3 to 5 years?
Time. I don't know. What's the plan, guys?
Where would you want to be in the next 3 years? You know,
3 years from now, I want to be playing Madison Square Garden.
Nice.
Yeah.
The Mecca.
Yeah, it's not impossible. It's not impossible.
Now, listen, the plan is really just to continue, like Russ said, to write, you know, quality songs that we feel, you know, and as a songwriters, I should say, we're getting better with our, you know, back to the metrics again, better with like writing words that we feel will resonate with a larger crowd of people, and so towards a certain subject that would resonate with a larger population of people. So it's like, not only are you writing something catchy and you're writing a song and you're figuring it out on the guitar and figuring out what the cool melody would be to sing to it, the lyrics are like super important, because like, who is this going to resonate with? And that's all part of crafting a really good song. So if we can continue to just get better on each release that we do, which I think that we've been able to achieve that so far, and just keep putting out awesome material. The more time that we'll spend ultimately being able to get bigger and better shows and stuff like that, and the more people we're going to attract, because obviously if you can go to South Florida in the Panhandle and be able to draw 100 people into any club up there on any given day, the quality of the gigs and the payout on the gigs is going to be a lot better. So just keep continuing to write good music and build your brand and build your business. And then, 3 years from now, I mean, if I look back 3 years from today, in the past, we were a nothing and a nobody. Where today we're at least a somebody. We've got charting songs on the charts. I think 3 years from now,
it was nothing.
Yeah. So it's just, I think that's a lot of time to give us to explode, because we're able to, thank God and knock on wood, we're able to achieve in 3 years what bands take 10, 15 years to do. You know what I mean? So, we're blessed with that. So that's an amazing thing. And I think that we're probably going to be walking on the moon in 3 years from now, for sure.
To the moon.
That's it, man. That's our saying. To the moon.
Yeah. So one question, I always drop with the guys before they actually leave is like, what's your take as artists moving into the future up to 2030 with what's happening with technology and what's happening with AI? Is it something that you're taking personally in your life? Are you actually utilizing it within your career itself? Or is it something that you're just pushing aside?
What do you think about that, Brent?
Well, we're not using it for, I know people do it to write complete songs.
We are not doing that. You're right.
I don't know. I'm it's helpful. I guess it could be helpful as a tool.
I think he means lyrically, because people use AI to cheat and write lyrics, and I mean, how can you look at yourself in the mirror when you do that?
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess artists are more concerned now about just monetizing the music versus actually putting original organic content out there. How can we monetize? How can we monetize? How can we earn? Spotify is paying out billions each and every single year. How can we get there? That's what it is.
So that's what it is. It's AI is, it's a handy tool, I guess, overall. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think a computer is going to be able to generate emotion like a human being can. You know what I mean? So like even I've heard some nonsense with the whole recording process becoming AI eventually, and it's just like, is that really it's gonna sound like a machine? You know what I mean? Like the human element and the somewhat not being a flawless being is always got to work its way into a song, because it's gonna, give it more emotion, I feel, and stuff like that.
Isn't that the beauty of music?
That's
human frailty, emotion, imperfections, love, hate, every possible emotion on the scale of emotion. It's humanity is what makes music beautiful.
Yeah. So I'm not saying that I would never use it, because like there's a time and a place for everything. We kind of like for instance, in the last song, Bullet, if you listen to the middle part right before the guitar solo, there's like a human voice saying something. And I tried to emulate what there was like an emergency, like an alarm going off and somebody was saying, please evacuate now, something like that. Well, I didn't want to use my own voice for that, because I felt like I could manipulate like an AI type of thing. So I had Brent, type into his AI generator the phrases that I wanted to do, and then he sent them back to me, and then we kind of worked on it that way. So I'm not going to say I won't ever use it, but to do a whole song, nah, definitely not, because I think it's going to pull all the emotion.
It's like you sort of just have to keep like a good balance. between traditional and technology.
Yeah.
You don't want to like be in a situation where you're not informed or you haven't tested out something just for it to like blow up one day and you ask, okay, guys, how did we miss that?
Yeah, because like I'm openly the best MIDI drummer there that was ever created. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like whatever, So, but
like the scary thing for me, based on a comment that you just laid down of us, like you're the best of what you do, and the more like you are more visible, like more visibly you are present, like online, like the technology is just picking up on that. It's just picking up on that. And that's like the scary part. You may think, okay, I'm using this software, whatever it may be, and we doing this thing and you laying it down as a drummer, as a guitarist. But in the background, depending what you're using, because online is online these days, the moment you're connected, you are connected. That AI is learning, how can I do what Des does, Brent does, Russ does?
Well, it's kind of crazy.
That's like the scary part there.
I think we're all going to be taken over by machines at some point in the future. So
Skynet will be online someday. If you Terminator.
I was thinking Total Recall, but
no, Skynet was the program that basically wiped out humanity in Terminator.
Yeah. Now there's people online that are like referencing 2024 to Skynet and Terminator.
I'll give you another cool movie AI related to watch. Have you seen Moonfall yet? Where the moon starts coming down towards the earth. And I don't want to ruin it for you, but watch it. It goes on a lot of conspiracy theory about how the moon, if you've ever heard, is a hollow artificial structure. And there's an AI tie-in with it, with advanced civilizations that cease to exist because of AI. Just watch it. Moonfall. You'll thank me. You guys will thank me.
Yeah.
And it's not that old either.
Definitely check it out. The guest I had last week on the pod. So I was explaining to her, like, in the world today that we live in, like, I am all about conspiracy. Like, I could talk about these topics, like, for hours, but just something, before you guys go. So I was telling her, like, there's, like, whenever something new pops up, like, I'm curious. So I always go in, I check out, okay, what it's about, what can I do? It's for that knowledge. And next thing you will know in the media that Universal Music or Sony is going after these companies because they want to sue them. It's copyright infringement. And then on the back end, you'll also come across like certain videos and clips. And, these days there's so much information that's online. If you're just going to listen to mainstream media, you're not really going to know how the world really works. And all these documents show how these companies are actually invested in these AI companies. And on the surface, they're just pushing out to the music economy. No, we're not involved. We're against this. But for them, they want to be on both ends of the stick. And that's just how it works. That's just how it works. It's the music business. They're more concerned about bottom line.
Yeah.
So it's good that independent artists, just like ourselves, always come together, unite, have conversations, like just promote each other's work. Because, that's what's going to keep us like relevant. And we're growing, we're growing.
I think you got to do a lot of collaboration. A lot of collaboration.
Yeah, it's all about collaboration.
Yeah.
That's the correct mindset. Not about competition anymore. I know you guys, you compete with other bands and so on. And like even with hip hop, you get the rap battles that still go on. But at the end of the day is, after those are finished, we still need to all like just be like buddies and friends, what can we do together?
Right.
I leverage your fans, leverage my fans.
Sure. You have fans that I don't have. You know what I'm saying? So if we work together, and vice versa. So you kind of, combining the fan force, I guess, overall, for lack of a better term.
Yeah. But guys, this was great. This was awesome. Sorry, what was that, Brent?
I said collaboration is important.
Yeah. No, definitely. Collaboration, networking, and just helping each other out.
That's it.
So, thanks. This was a great conversation. Like, this was, very informative for me personally.
I enjoyed it.
Guys, the whole work, the whole label, and so on, like a band together, unique, special. And you guys are, your signature is out there. And keep up with the music videos, man. Like, we need that content online.
Yeah. We're gonna keep shooting them. Like I said, we have no restrictions when it comes to creating music and creating music videos as well, because you got the two guys that do that stuff right here inside of the band. So that's perfect.
Hey, we even kept name down in the corner of the screen.
What's that?
At the beginning of the music videos, we kept it TV style with that. Yeah.
If you watch any of our music videos, it kind of, for the first 10 seconds and the last 10 seconds of the video, it'll flash like the old MTV style. It'll say a moment of violence, the name of the song, the label, and stuff like that. We tried to keep it, along the lines of what we, witnessed growing up when we watched it. You know what I mean? So
yeah. Now you guys can start your own channel, like proper TV channel soon. There's another platform that I came across. I forgot what it's called. So it's like similar to how you would watch Netflix online. So you can create like your own channel and you can share that.
AMoV TV.
Yeah, AMoV TV, exactly. It's the same, and you just filter. So I signed up for it, just to check what it's about and play around with it. Okay, cool. Now I know, move on in my life. But yeah, it'll be something cool for you guys as well. To go
we're gonna make a cooking channel. Me and Des are.
Yeah, we're both 5-star chefs too, just in case you didn't know.
Yeah,
not really, but we really like to cook. And Brent showed his skills last night, so it's going to be the metal band dad cookbook cooking channel.
Like if you guys should name it like Cooking with Des and Russ, like that goes,
Yeah.
Russ and Des, somebody there. Brent could be the taster, Okay, let's check what your eyes.
I'm sure he wouldn't argue with that.
No, but guys, thank you so much.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Bless you.
Thank you, Kino. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Yeah, all the best for the future, Ed. I wish you guys nothing but the best, man.
If we ever visit South Africa, we'll look you up.
Yeah, no problem. Or if I come there, I'm definitely coming to one of your gigs. That's
if
like
you come to Florida, make sure you contact us. We'll show you a good time.
No.
And I know a lot of people.
Wait. There's a contradiction there, Russ. Because the good time I was expecting was, rock stars, the club, groupies, drinks all over the place,
Well, listen, bro, one of my buddies, if you're a DJ, you say you're a DJ, one of my buddies is a resident at 11 in Miami. I'll hook you up with him.
Sweet. I'm going to hold you to that. And
11, if you know the DJing scene, that's where everybody goes.
Yeah. Now, it was actually last week I watched Bad Boys 4. And, it's like filmed in Miami. And I'm like, sure, Miami.
It actually was filmed there too because people were pissed off about certain areas traffic's bad enough down there. And they were shutting down areas to do scenes. And Miami residents were not the least bit happy.
But yeah, man.
But it's a party, man. It's a party.
Well, you come to Florida, let's hook up, man.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like I love to keep, in contact, no matter in which channel it may be or what form it may be, with everyone that I do chat to.
Yeah.
As I said, sticking together. Okay, cool. Thanks, guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Chat soon.
Yeah, you too, man. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Hey, sweet.
Peace.
Cool.